What's up guys, it's Emily. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I wanted to do some bolder eye looks. I had a few requests for that. I obviously typically use browns and oranges in all of my eye looks and in all of the ones I've shown you guys in the past. So when I got a request for some bolder looks, I wanted to do something crazy and something I've never done before. My mom specifically requested like an ocean themed look, which was definitely a challenge for me. I never use like cool toned eyeshadows. I just kind of lean more towards warm tones. So I wanted to kind of do a half and half and show you guys two different looks that you can do that are a little bolder. And so I hope you guys like it. If you want to see how I got this, then please keep watching. Okay guys, so I got requested, like I said before, about, to do like a bolder eye look. My mother specifically requested ocean themed, and then I did like a sunset themed eye look recently that a lot of people liked. So I figured I would just kind of split my face in half. I'm going to do ocean themed eyeshadow on one side, sunset themed on the other, and I will talk you through both of the processes. So I'm going to zoom the camera in so you can see a little bit better and we'll get started. Okay, so I'm going to be using a few different palettes. I think I'm going to start with the ocean themed eye look because I've never done anything like that before. I usually use warm tones, so this is going to be definitely a challenge for me. I have the Jaclyn Hill palette like I always use, and there is some teals and purples down here that I think I'm going to use. And then I have one of her Vault collection, the Dark Magic palette, and there's like a navy shade here that I might try to use. It's pretty dark, but I might use it to darken up my outer V. So I'm gonna start with that and let's get into it. I use the Morphe 350 palette a lot, and so I'm gonna use this shade up here. It's like a transition shade on both eyes. It's a little warmer, but it's pretty neutral as far as shades go, so I don't think it'll make the Oceanside look too warm at all. So I'm gonna start with that. And I'll try to tell you the brushes that I'm using. This one is just a Kylie Jenner brush. I'm gonna use the fluffy side. And if you see me looking down, it's because my mirror is down here. So I'll try to explain as I'm going along. I'm just gonna put that over top of really my whole eyelid. Kind of focus on the crease area so I can make sure I'm blending everything really well. And I did my base already, so my eyelids already have concealer, which is what I use for eyelid primer on them. All right, so we have got a little bit of a base going. I gotta decide if I want to do teal on the inside. I think I'm gonna do teal. So I'm gonna take this. So there's a shimmer and a matte. I'm gonna take the matte teal shade and do my lid with that. And I'm gonna use a Morphe M433. It's kind of a little bit of a flatter brush. It's not as fluffy as the last one that I used. All right, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. I'm just kind of patting it onto my lid on the inner part, kind of dragging it across. I don't want to move my brush too much because I don't want any of the blue or anything or teal to get under my eye. So it's a pretty pigmented color, but I want it to be really bold. So I'm gonna go back in with a second layer. So pretty, this color. I'm gonna feel like a mermaid at the end of this. Okay, so this is kind of the beginning stage. So now I'm gonna take this purple shade, the one that's right above it, and I'm gonna start. I'm gonna use a Morphe M456. It's another kind of flatter brush for this one. And I'm going to put it right towards my outer V. Kind of drag it along my crease so that it blends with the teal. Oh my gosh, my hair. And this one I'm gonna do slowly and just build it up. Like I said, once I get to the top, I just kind of drag it over. And as you see, it's gonna start blending with the teal, which is exactly what I want. And then I'm gonna start dragging it out a little bit. I'm gonna use that navy shade, but I wanna get a little bit of this purple and kind of use it to blend out the navy, just because I'm not gonna use a ton of the navy because it is a very, very deep color. And then I'm gonna go back in with the same brush I used for the teal and just get a little bit and kind of go over the edge. I don't want to lose too much of the teal, but I want to make sure that the purple shade and the teal shade are blending really well together. And then I'm gonna take a Morphe M456, again, another one, it's just this flat one, mine's stained. But that's what I'm gonna take this navy shade with, and this navy shade, it has the shade names in here. It's called Busted from the Dark Magic palette. And I'm gonna be super careful with this because it is dark, but it's gonna deepen up my outer V. I definitely don't want to lose the purple, so I'm gonna go back in with purple in a little bit too. Okay, so this is what I have so far. I just finished with the navy, kind of deepening up my outer V, and I'm gonna go back in with the purple to kind of really make it stand out and blend everything together. So this is what we have for the top. So you can kind of see the gradient going to the navy. And now I'm gonna do my under eye, and I'm gonna kind of follow the same pattern, going from the navy to the teal in the inner corner. So I'm gonna use a Morphe E36. It's this small little pencil brush, and I'm gonna take the teal and bring it from the inside. And I'm gonna drag the teal all the way over just so that I can blend the other colors really well with it. And I'm gonna use the same brush to take the purple and focus it more towards the center. And then again, I'm gonna follow the same pattern with the navy. And the navy I'm gonna drag up so that it doesn't just seem like the top part of my eyeshadow and the bottom part end abruptly. I want them to kind of blend together. And then last but not least, I'm gonna take an M213. It's this little flat brush here. And I'm gonna take this second shade, this light one, up here in the top corner of the Jaclyn Hill palette. And this is going to go on my inner corner. I used darker colors here, so I just like to brighten up the inner corner a little bit. And then I'm going to use the same shade to put right underneath my eyebrow. So I think that this is kind of my oceany, mermaidy eyeshadow look. It's very dark, and then, like I said, I'm not used to working with blues or teals or anything like that, but I think it looks really good. I think that it'll really pull it together once I have my eyeliner and mascara on, but I'm going to go over to this eye and then we will do that all at the end. So up next is sunset themed. So this one I'm excited for. I do this one all the time. All right, so same as before, I'm going to lay down a base color transition shade. It's gonna be this Kylie Jenner brush. It's from her summer collection. It's double-ended, but I'm just using this one. And just as a reminder, it's the shade in the Morphe 350 palette. Alright guys, so I'm gonna kind of use the same pattern style with the sunset shade, so I'm gonna try to go from like an orange to like a deeper red. So I'm going to start with this orange shade in the Morphe 350 palette, and I'm going to use another M433 brush, just like I did with the last one. And I'm gonna pat it on, drag it across my lid, just like I did with that teal shade. All right, now that I have a decent coat of that on, I kind of want to, even though they're obviously completely different looks, I want them to look a little cohesive. So the purple that I used next to the teal over here is a shimmer, which is weird for me, but the Jaclyn Hill Vault Collection Armed and Gorgeous palette. She has a couple of these like orangey goldy shimmer shades that I'm gonna try to use if I can, because I think that keeping the shimmer in the same place would look really nice and make the looks a little more cohesive. So another Morphe M433. I'm gonna kind of mix the two together. One's definitely more yellow than the other, so I'll try to use more of the orangey one. I'm using Guilt Trip and Coin for this. So and you know what? It's not going to be dark enough. So I'm going to first do this darker orange shade in that spot, and then maybe go over it with a little bit of the orange shimmer. Because these oranges are not super different, I'm kind of mixing a few oranges and then I'm gonna layer it up so that the second shade is darker and that you can see a difference, but that they blend together really well. And then like I did with the purple, I'm going to drag it out a little bit so that I can darken it up with a red. Okay, so you can see there is a difference between, this is like a lighter orange and this is more like a reddish orange. I ended up mixing this like reddish orange and this orange together. So I'm gonna use Guilt Trip, the middle one, to try to put a little bit of a shimmer over the reddish orange because I want it to kind of be similar to the purple that's over here. And it's gonna make it a little gold, which is pretty. Also, I've had to fix my under eye now a couple times, which makes me understand why when people do bold eyeshadows, they do their base after. I've never really done a whole lot of bold eyeshadows before, and so I've never needed to do it in that order, but now I fully understand. And lesson learned. Okay. Now I'm gonna take a little bit of that original orange, just kind of blend the edges, make sure everything still looks blended and there's no sharp edges. Okay. Now I'm going to take, this is a Kylie Jenner brush that I got from one of her palettes. It's very similar to the Morphe M433 brush. And I'm going to use this to do the red outer V, and I'm going to use the Jaclyn Hill palette. And I'm going to go on with this, and then I might deepen it up a little bit with this one with a smaller brush. So just kind of sticking to the outer V. We'll go back in with the other shades and kind of make sure everything's transitioning well. And this is definitely a color you want to build up to. So I kind of got a little bit of a gradient going. I'm now gonna go back in with these two oranges, make it stand out a little bit more. And that's really the process of blending and getting a look like this. It's going back, using the same colors over and over again to make sure everything looks cohesive. And what I'm looking at right now makes me realize that I'm better with warm tones than cool tones. Hopefully it all looks okay in the end. Okay, and now we're gonna do the under eye. So I kind of have it nice and blended. Might add a little bit of Guilt Trip back just to add some shimmer. Now we're gonna take Morphe M431. It's another little pencil brush. And I'm gonna take that original light orange, it's right here, and put it along my lower waterline. And I'm going to use the same brush and mix those two oranges. Put it in the center. And then I'm going to take that red, and I ended up only using the one red, this one, because I felt like this one would make it just a little too dark. Okay, so I'm going to take that same little flat brush with the same like light shade that I did before. And it's gonna go on my inner corner. Oh, to brighten it up, and then right underneath my eyebrow. And then I'm going to go back in with the teal and purple just a little bit. Kind of blend them a little more. Now that my sunset side is done, not quite as happy as I was with my ocean side. Okay, so just blended those a little bit more. So this is the final looks without any eyeliner, mascara, anything like that. So I'm actually going to do that stuff off camera. It's the same as how I always do it. So I will show you guys the final product. Oh, and I'm gonna put a lip on. So I will show you guys the final product when I'm done. guys, so this is the final look. Got some ocean, sunset. I think you guys probably could see through this whole thing. The ocean side, was super difficult for me. Like I said, I've never really worked with these kind of colors before. It's a lot darker than I'm really used to. Like I said, this side for me is just my go-to anyways. I've done this kind of thing before, but this side was really hard. I am pretty happy with how it turned out. Probably could use a little more practice, so maybe in the future after I practice for a little while, I can kind of come back and redo it and see how much better I get at it. But I hope that it was fun for you to watch, something a little different, and maybe you can try it along with me and see how yours turns out. So if you liked seeing this and want to see more from me, please subscribe before you leave. Give this video a thumbs up, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.